Welcome, Unity. Unitics. Unitics. Welcome, welcome, and welcome to anyone who's here for the first time. And we will recognize you a little bit later. Unity is a global, inclusive spiritual community offering practical tools and uplifting resources to help people of all walks of life apply positive spiritual principles in their daily lives. We ask you now to please silence your cell phones, and I'm going to instead of telling jokes this morning, I'm going to let Armand tickle your funny bones. So welcome. And I guess Natalie.
Good morning.
Hey, what a beautiful morning.
And we have this awesome workshop this afternoon. That's my one announcement that I wanted to make. We had a lovely chants and sing along last evening with Armand and Angelina, and it really was lovely. And so, yeah, you have an opportunity to hang out with them this afternoon from 1 to
2:15-ish.
something. And maybe you will talk a little bit more about that. I think you'd be better at talking about that. Do you want to do that now?
Well, I'm
Okay.
shy, but I'll do it anyway. So basically, we're gonna have everybody play one of these flutes. We'll have little sanitary straws in there to keep them nice and fresh, and that way you get to keep that as a souvenir at the end of the class. And whether you have any musical ability or not, the Native American 5-hole flute is tuned to itself, which means if you follow some basic things I teach, we don't have any rules because you wouldn't be here if you weren't a rebellious rule breaker. So we're not about to give you any rules that will make you want to break them. Instead, we follow the Pirates Code. They're not really rules, they're more like guidelines. So I will teach you a bunch of guidelines in the flute, and in an hour or so, you will be able to make music guaranteed on your flute, God willing. But yes, God is always willing. So thank you. We hope to see you here.
Yeah, and so the suggested love offering for the play shop is $20, but we always say, please, if you don't have that, we want you to come anyway because we have generous people in our community who can give a little bit more to make sure that those who can't can attend. We just ask that you give what you can. Now, Armand is an award-winning songwriter and inspirational speaker whose enthusiastic presence inspires us all to love life passionately. Angelina's angelic and heart-opening voice draws from many languages. She was classically trained at Indiana University and was formerly with Epcot Center. They are international performers using songs, stories, and humor to remind us now to open our hearts and remember that we are meant to experience heaven on earth. And so it is. Armand and Angelina.
And this, I checked my records last night. The first time we were here was 2013 when we did our Attitude of Gratitude talk. And this is our 8th time. Now, we only have 9 sermons. So
So we better get to work.
we'll be doing, in about 4 years, we'll be doing Attitude of Gratitude again. But it'll have been so long between times, I'm sure that some new awesome things have happened since then. So we are just delighted. It's one of our favorite places in the whole world to be. And here we are. We're just really, really glad to be there. So we're going to do a song. Have you ever noticed that there are people that really love you and get you, and they help support you to become a better you? And sometimes there's people that don't love and get you, and in a weird way, they support you to be more wonderfully in your power to be a better you. So they say, you know, things are either a blessing or a blessing in disguise. And people, I believe, are that as well. People are on a big cosmic level. Everybody's working together in some way, shape, or form. I prefer the blessings to the blessings in disguise, but I honor the gifts I get from the blessings in disguise. So this song is all about oneness. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. All right. And we're going to teach it to you. It does a lot of repetitive stuff, so it'll be easy. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. That's it. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. There is only one presence, one power, God the good. Together. There is only one presence, one power, God the good. There is only one presence, one power, God the good. Whose will? Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. If you think that you're not supported by your brother, sister, think again. If you think that you're not supported by your brother, sister, think again. If you think that you're not supported by your brother, sister, think again. Doesn't mean you want to do what? Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. Everybody singing. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. There is no place you need to get to. There is only here and now. There is no place you need to get to. There is only here and now. There is no place you need to get to. There is only here and now. Because we know your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. Everybody singing. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. There we go. So we're going to do a little meditation during the service. I was very pleasantly surprised that there were about 20 people at the 10 a.m. meditation. It's hard enough to get people to come in right on 10:30 time, and an hour early folks came in for that meditation. So this is going to be a little bit different. We're going to start with a chant that we hope you will sing with us. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am, and then we'll move a bit into a musical meditation. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. And as we quiet the mind and maybe close the outer eyes, go within, listen to that still small voice that tells us we are peace. We are all connected, all part of the same soul, spirit, God, goddess, all that is. Pure light. Reconnecting. And bringing our attention to this truth. Gives us a stable foundation to navigate the waters of the human experience. It's been said that we are spirit, incarnate, having a human experience, but this is not who we are. One day, we will leave this movie set and reconnect with all that is completely. Bringing our attention to our human breath. Breathing in. More mindfulness of the truth of who we are. Breathing out and sharing that as a mirror to the world. Breathing in all that we identify with now. What rings true for us in this holy moment. And breathing out, letting go of all that we no longer identify with. All that no longer serves us. is a field beyond right and wrong, beyond good and bad. Meditation brings us there together. Very gently now, begin to bring your attention to your physical body, your chair, this incredibly welcoming and embracing community, this sanctuary where we meet to remind each other of that truth and to play bingo. Thank you, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God. We know that all is in divine order, that everything will be okay in the end. And that all is well. Amen. All is well. All is well. God is balanced. All is well. There's perfection everywhere. All is well. Do you ever feel that even though you know all is well, that it's a little more weller here? As humans, we are designed to have preferences, and that's okay. All spiritual teachings say love thy neighbor. They don't say we have to like all our neighbors. Love this beautiful country. Doesn't mean we have to like every state. Maybe the climate's different. You know, there's a climate that you like better than others. That's all right. Let's think of people and energies like climates. Some are more ideal climates to live in, and that's okay. And now I turn it over to my boss.
Well, you're my boss, so I guess we're connected in that. So anyway, our message today is turn the other cheek. And we will be talking about forgiveness, boundaries, and trust.
And we get to start off with one of my favorite people in the world. Real quickly before I talk about him, with all the different information that seems to come out over time about different people being involved in things that are not good, I'm so grateful that there's been no scandal around this wonderful man. Good morning, boys and girls. Uh-oh. Jerry's in the house. His bracelet, his necklace that he made for me a while back just came off. We love you, Jerry. Crossdresser. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor, lady in red? Anyway, just grab that out of the air. Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Angelina and Armand's neighborhood. It's a special day. It's absolutely beautiful. It's not even going to barely make it to 100 today. Awesome. I put on Facebook this morning, I said, in Florida, they say temperature 83 feels like 90. But here, temperature 90 feels like 83 because of low humidity. Y'all have it better than you know it. So it's customary to have our special word or phrase. Our phrase today is turn the other cheek. Now, anybody ever question some of the traditional values that you were taught in spirituality when you were younger? Many of us, because of that questioning, found it here. Anger. Let's talk about anger a little bit. It's just coming to me. Anger gets a bad rap, and I'll tell you why. Because like all of our emotions, there is a shadow side of it. And we tend to think of anger only in the shadow side. But there is a very positive, powerful, spiritual part of anger. And it's often called divine discontentment. Divine discontentment is a beautiful, mild form of anger that says, this doesn't work for me. It can be, this person doesn't work for me. That kind of situation helps people to make other choices that are healthy boundary choices. So divine discontentment is the healthy anger that creates movement and change, and on some level brought you here. The anger, again, has a negative side with the rage and the violence, but usually that happens because the divine discontentment was not honored when it was happening and trying to get your attention until it got bigger and fiercer. So I had some challenges with most of what I learned growing up. I could not imagine a creator sending me to hell. I could not imagine a creator having favorites. None of that made sense. Obviously, most of us have moved past the idea of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth from the Old Testament. We moved away from that, and different religions have versions of that. That just leaves everyone toothless and blind. But even the part in the New Testament where it said turn the other cheek. Anybody ever been in a relationship where someone acted inappropriately with them and they somehow decided to go back for more, which is not healthy? So I always thought that was turn the other cheek. Then I found out that there was a unity metaphysical meaning of it. It meant if somebody does something to you that hurts you, rather than be angry and hurt them back, see them with love as you make appropriate. In other words, see them from the side of you that knows they are a child of God, and then make appropriate actions, okay? In the Facebook world, we call that block and bless. I've been blocking and blessing people. I have a strict rule on my page: no unsolicited advice and no calling any other people names. Okay, we don't need to do that. Sharing, if I write something and somebody says, wow, I have a different experience, that's different. That's not so unsolicited advice. That's sharing your experience. So I give them little warnings. Somebody wrote to me the other day, they didn't use the F word, but they said something like that to all people that think differently than me. That's what they said. That anybody that thinks differently about this subject, they can just go have some fudge. Something like that. It was something like that. And I said, if you were going to ostracize entire groups of people like that, that is a form of prejudice, and that will not be tolerated here. Okay? Say what you're for. Don't say those kind of things, because I have a very big mix of all types of people on my page. And so block and bless has become my good friend. So I started thinking about that turn the other cheek thing, and I thought, is there a possibility that from Aramaic to Greek to English to written word, that some of the words might have been slightly misinterpreted over time? Maybe just good. Thanks for giving me that. I heard this great story about that squirrel.
Yeah.
I heard this great story about that where these celibate monks were doing some deep, deep research into biblical scripture. And they were going back and they were getting scholars to help them understand what this actually meant in the Aramaic or what it actually meant in Greek and things like that. And one of them goes, "Oh my God, it's a different word. It says that as children of God, we're supposed to be celebrate." That one R, missing that one R. They missed out on so much joy. Anyway, but I think what happened when I heard that story, which may or may not be true, I heard that story and I thought, maybe, just maybe, when Jesus said, if somebody treats you inappropriately, maybe it wasn't strike them back, and maybe it wasn't just take more and become a doormat. Maybe it was one letter, a simple plurality. Turn the other cheeks and walk away. One letter. You're not hitting. It just felt right to me. Now, you won't find any of this in any respectable work, but that's my philosophy, along with the idea of the unity metaphysical teaching of see people with your heart, even as you are blocking and blessing. And that's a philosophy on that. So,
Right, and forgiveness is important, but not always easy to do. So, sometimes it just takes some time to go within and feel what that is about. But when you can let go of the emotion and the energy around it, then you will begin to feel the freedom of the pain and the anger, sadness, and confusion. So, it's just sometimes takes a little while to get there, but when you can get there, there's freedom on the other side.
absolutely. And then, we've all heard this. There's 3 different versions of it. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? See, that's a different energy. That's like, okay, somebody just said something and God, I really disagree with it, but I want to honor their right to think that way. I don't really need to speak right now. Do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? Or do I want to be right or do I want to be kind? Or do I want to be right? Ooh, here's a biggie. Do I want to be right or effective? Now, my main goal in my marriage, our marriage, is that we have as great a life as we possibly can together, and that I do everything I can to enhance her life. That means effective. If I correct her when I don't need to correct her, I just might be right. And that might be effective in me sleeping on the couch. So
we call her
effective.
Medusa.
Yeah, Medusa.
Medusa
Okay.
could come out if you don't.
And I'm gonna piggyback on the early thing about anger. Her angry self, and I mean that in the full term of the word, not just the negative side. Her angry self we call Medusa. Medusa is her caretaker. Medusa does not want anyone taking advantage of her. Medusa does not want anybody bullying her. Medusa does not want anybody telling her how to think. So when Medusa comes out, that's her inner anger saying, this is not the way I allow myself to be treated. Now, if I don't listen, then Medusa becomes wilder and crazier, and snakes start going on. And again, that's just setting boundaries. Brene Brown says this, and you probably all heard it. People can often be the most compassionate people you'll ever meet because they know how to have healthy, strong boundaries. if a person is clear about their no's, you can trust their yeses better. Okay, if they're clear about their no's, but if they're very patronizing, okay, whatever, yeah, that's fine, yeah. Then you can't necessarily trust their yeses. She'll say sometimes to me, "Are you sure?" She'll say something like, "Oh my gosh, Armand, I know you're busy doing a bunch of stuff, probably Facebook, anyway, stuff like that. But right now, I could really use your help with this project or whatever. I'd like to get it behind me, and I could really use your help." And I'll be like, "Cool, I'd love to." And she'll say, "Are you sure?" And I go, "No, there's a part of me that really doesn't want to do it. However, I want to help you anyway. I'm going to help you." And that way she can trust me more if I tell her the truth that, yeah, I'm not exactly that excited about doing this right now. How important is to you? What about in an hour from now? I can still do that. That'll work in an hour. It's just getting together. And again, I remember a situation where we were in the studio recording one of our albums. I think it might have been Ave Maria. We were doing an Ave Maria, a Schubert Ave Maria. And the producer was really, really adamant about a certain thing that he wanted out of Angelina on that vocal mic. Well, as an introvert, getting in the studio on a microphone while engineers and producers and other musicians are listening to what you do in the sound booth is already almost traumatizing right there. Okay. But then to have the producer push and push and push. No, take that over again. That wasn't right. I told you that you're not doing that right. And by the end of the session, she couldn't get the song out at all. She was gone. She was wrecked. And we had a big talk that night. And I remember this was the first time I ever used this particular type phrasing. I said, she can't sing right now. We're going to have to start over tomorrow. We're going to have to get a new start. That just didn't work very well. He goes, "Yes, but I was right." And I said, "You probably were, but your studio side manner was not effective in getting what you wanted out of that vocal track." And so we like to think of that a lot of time. Is this effective? And if what you're going to do is not effective, like let's say you want to talk politics to somebody who's flipping out over the way the country is running right now, and you want to help them see a different way of seeing it in that moment. That's not going to be effective. They are hurting right now. Okay, they are hurting. Somebody's hurting. Let them get to where they can actually speak about this stuff in a clear way. Otherwise, I have marks on my tongue for all the times I bite it when I want to say something, but I don't hold that. So, do you want to be kind? Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be effective? Or do you want to be right? Sometimes being right is important. If you see what's going on with somebody and you need to call them out on it, then it's worth being right, even if it doesn't necessarily come off as kind. I had a person that had a very serious situation with. I've been working on my forgiveness work, and I was turning the other cheek, and it was time to turn the other cheeks with this person. I had known them for a long, long time. And I said, "If you continue to tell me what I need to be in order to meet your standards, I am not going to be able to have you in my life. I'm doing what works for me." And then there would be something like, "Well, you're being hypocritical. You pretend to be this inspirational speaker, and what you're doing here is creating more trauma in your life. You need to keep it more positive. Keep it all positive." Anybody ever heard the term toxic positivity? Yeah, it's a real thing. It's not an oxymoron. Like if somebody has something really traumatic happen to them, and you say, "Well, you created that," or at least you have air conditioning in your home. Yeah, it's true. At least you have air conditioning in your home, but it's not an effective time to say that. Okay, and so this person would just. I was putting on Facebook some of the challenges that we were going through. If anybody's on our Facebook page, I kind of tell the good, the bad, and the ugly. I want the whole picture out there. And they were saying, "Don't put that out. You're going to create more of it." I said, "Well, I'm releasing and I'm giving other people an example of the human struggle. And I think that's how I do it." "Well, you're not teaching new thought principles when you do that." I said, it's going to have to change. Well, why don't you heal that and then I won't bother you? Oh, that did not go over well with me. And I said, dear beloved sister, you are a gorgeous, wonderful, fragrant, beautiful flower. But I have become allergic to your pollen. That wasn't necessarily a kind thing to say to her, but it was necessary and it was effective because we haven't talked since then. That was very
Right,
good.
because it is important to set boundaries. So, so that and then you can find out where they fit in your life. You know, you can forgive and then go, okay, I forgive, but I cannot be around that person, or I forgive, but these are what I need in order for us to be able to still see each other.
And some of that might be, I love you, you're awesome. Let's not talk about anything political because every time we do, it makes us further apart. That's fine. We have people all over the country. You know, we had a person that came in that invited us into their home in Michigan a while back. And they said, you know how we feel about the current situation, and we know how you feel. Would you like to come stay with us in one condition? We don't talk about this at all. I said, great. Most of what I talk about is how to get along with the other side more than any particular thing. And we had a wonderful time. You just have to have these healthy boundaries and find your lane. A lot of talk in the last 10 years is about finding your lane. A lane that used to work might not work now. So
And setting boundaries is self-love. So you just remember that when you have to do something like that and it's uncomfortable, it's really saying, I love myself so much that I'm willing to go through an uncomfortable situation.
And the people that belong with you may not like that you did that because they kind of liked having you the way you used to be, a little easier to deal with because you just went along. But they will love and respect you more. They will love and respect you more. And you will be able to find your tribe better by being really, really authentic. So when I think of forgiveness, I like to think of it in a gentle way. Did anybody ever have a situation that was really hurting them badly and they said, you know what? I forgive all of it. And then found out that they hadn't? Because that journey from here to here is long. They say the head to the heart can be the longest journey. So I say, give your human self a gentle way to forgive. So I came up with these different stages. So the first one would be like pre-forgiveness. I realized that not forgiving them is hurting me. That's kind of like the first stage. If this is not working, I'm feeling more disconnected. I'm not seeing the truth of my life and God. Okay, so that'd be like pre-forgiveness. And then the first level of forgiveness might be sort of a hold your inner child's hand while you do it. You go, we forgive that jerk for what they did. Now, that's not a very deep level of oneness, but it's a step. I forgive that jerk for saying that to me the other day and telling me that, you know, I need to heal my stuff so I can not be bothered by what she says. Okay, then the little inner child emotional self goes, oh, we're working on this together. They're honoring where I am right now. Because the spirit part of us doesn't have to forgive, never judge in the first place. Okay? And even the mind-brain part of us, especially the left brain, can really get the value of forgiveness so we don't feel bad, okay? And so we don't send out negativity in the world. But the body and emotion holds on longer. You know, the body doesn't lie, it holds it in emotion. And so we want to bring them in. So the next stage of forgiveness after that might be, I know that on some level, they and I did the very best we could with our current level of consciousness. And I know we've all been taught that. And I think we can grasp that idea that on some level, everyone's doing the very best they can with what they're working with in that current state of consciousness. Does that kind of sound like a feasible thing? Some folks, it's going to be harder to go there with that. Okay. And then you get to that, you go, boy, that feels a little bit better. I've just let myself off the hook. I've let them off the hook. Doesn't mean I'm going to change my boundaries. I still may need to have time away, or I still may not talk to them at all. But that feels better. Yeah, I'm getting all the parts together, body, mind, spirit, Yeah. If they're doing and I'm doing the very best we can, so this might be level 3, the very best we can, then on some level, if we're all one and everything's in divine order, then they and I are doing the only thing we can in that given moment. That doesn't mean we can't make different choices later, but in that given moment. Don't try to do this in one night with a very traumatic situation, people. This is a time, this is graceful, this is moving through the steps, this is bringing your inner family with you. But that's a deeper, heavier, more forgiving level. Anybody ever completely done their forgiveness work with somebody and then a few years later something happens and then they realize there's more? Yeah. So that's because we went too fast. We didn't do it. A friend of mine says what's slow is fast and what's fast is slow. I said, that's very confusing. Can you please explain? She goes, if you forgive real fast, it's going to actually take you longer to get to that point than if you give yourself a slow, steady thing. What do they usually say? Slow and steady wins the race kind of thing. So then when you can get to that idea that we're all doing the very best we can at any given moment, then maybe you can get to the point that we're doing the only thing we can at any given moment. It's a very high vibrational level of forgiveness over time. And then what may be the final stage is find how you have become a better person as a result of what happened to you. And again, don't try to do this overnight, or don't try to pretend that your heart's into it when your brain is, but your heart's not. But you can get to a place to where you can go, okay, I wouldn't be the conscious, loving person I am now. I wouldn't have the things in my life, the people in my life. I wouldn't have this awareness had they not done this particular thing. And you get to a place where you can thank them, not to them. This is internal. You don't want to go thank them. Hey, thanks a lot. Do it again. Internal, thank the situation. I think it was Wayne Dyers that said, for giving you a deeper level of growth. Now, that is not overnight work, folks, especially if the trauma is deep. But I believe if we can gently move through these phases, and those phases are in my book as well, the Turn the Other Cheeks, and also these 5 stages of forgiveness, I think we can get to it a little bit deeper and actually heal that part of us. You know, the Course in Miracles, any Course in Miracles students out there, that's kind of their main big deal. We're here to forgive. I heard a Course in Miracles teacher says, here's how you know you've done all your forgiveness work. You're gone. As long as you're here, there'll be a little more, and that's okay. It's not a one-off thing. Oh, I'm either not forgiving or I'm forgiving. You're partially. You're working on it. Be gentle. We want to be gentle. Sometimes we get into spirituality and we hear this stuff and our inner adult says, let's do all of this tomorrow and be a perfect beam of light. You know, we have these inner children in us that need to be taken along. So my biggest challenge, you have, yes, please.
Oh, okay. Well, are you still?
Nope.
Well, I just wanted, before we go too much further, I want to talk about self-forgiveness. You know, it's to forgive others is good. It's difficult, but sometimes forgiving ourselves for saying something unkind, doing something unloving, or doing something that embarrassed ourselves, it's good to forgive ourselves. You know, it's easy to beat yourself up, be angry, and if you can forgive yourself, then you can let go of the shame, the regret, or the self-blame. And so in this process, you know, be kind and compassionate with yourself, feel and accept your emotions, embrace that we are not perfect. That's one I always have to work on. I'm always trying to be perfect, but embrace that we're not perfect. And don't get stuck in your story. Right? It's so easy to do that. And I told a story. I used to tell a story about my childhood, and I got to the point where I'm really tired of hearing me tell that story, and I let it go. And then that was free of that whole thing. I don't even know if I remember what that story was, you know. So let's let go of that story when we can. You know, we're not doing this all at once, but when you're finally really ready to just let that go, you'll feel a lot better.
That reminds me of Star Trek. Any Star Trek people? Stargate 2026. Captain's log. The final frontier. Self-forgiveness. Anyway, that's what I would imagine Captain Kirk saying that. I don't know, maybe not. Okay, so we're going to end the message with a song. I'll give you as much quick background of it. So my biggest challenge in my life was, and pretty much has for all my life, was a surrogate mother that raised me when my biological mother went away. And she was uncomfortable doing it because she was actually my older sister who was 8 years older than I am. And the last thing she wanted was a 4-year-old bundle of challenge whose mom had just left. I was crazy, still am to a certain extent, but I mean, I was really not an easy child. I was always, finding new things and exploring and running around and checking out before I could go off a cliff before I fell off, stuff like that. And so it was hard for her. So I totally get it. But I didn't get it when I was a little kid. Why is she mean to me? Why does she hate me? Why does she treat me like, there's something wrong with me? Or why did she tell me I was a mistake, that mom and dad weren't really planning on having a kid and you just popped up? And I learned later what happened, why I got there. But anyway, but I don't call that a mistake. That was just, they were drunk, I guess. No, anyway. But all that stuff, I couldn't deal with it. And as I got older, she got into this stuff way before I did. So I began to kind of worship this situation that's often called Stockholm syndrome. I had a version of that. And she's brilliant. I wish she wasn't, but she's so brilliant that I saw this beauty and I didn't know how to set boundaries because I'm supposed to be thankful forever that she helped raise me and that she's there for me and she's my greatest teacher. But it was always a struggle. So in 1996, I wrote this song that I'm going to sing here. Now, was it in my heart? Not yet, but I understood it here. And I said, and this is what happens a lot with artists. They'll write stuff based on their higher self, but they're not necessarily living it yet, but they're writing for them, or they're making art or pottery or something for them to help them grow, and then the world can benefit from it if we have a chance to offer it to them. And so I wrote this song based on all the truths that I knew was important for me to do. So I was, I guess, 35 years old in 1996. I wrote this song for her, about her, but I didn't say it was about her. I just sang it. And then I gave it to my mom, who also, my biological mom, who also had issues. And foolishly, my mom told her, well, your little brother wrote a song about you. You need to hear it. So she played it for her. And my sister surrogate mother said, I heard the song you wrote. You misinterpreted all that I did for you. I did everything for you. And so I'm never speaking to you again. And that crushed me, even though it was the best thing for me. If you think somebody is not very good and yet you're not good enough for them, that can make you feel even less than. Again, these were all ego-based things. And then we didn't speak for a long time. And then I did some workshops and some healing, and I got to a deeper level of forgiveness. And I invited her. I said, look, I've healed some stuff. I've forgiven. I would like you to come back into my life. And it was absolutely amazing how great our relationship was for about 18 months. And then the old grooves got right back in. And I'm not going to say it was her or me, it was us. We got right back into that former dynamic. And then she left us, but mainly me, a really horrible message on my answering machine. This was about 2012. And I said, Angelina, I'm a 4-year-old again. I'm right back into that devastated, crying little boy over what mommy said to me. I am going to let her know that she can never, ever speak to me that way again. And my beautiful, loving bride said, just remember what happened in 96 when you told her how you felt and she never spoke to you again for a while. I said, yep, but I love myself more than I love her loving me. And that was a big deal. That was the first time that I could actually say, I love myself more than I loved her loving me. That's the message. Thank you. Told her decided to end our human contract together. Maybe, you know what, this doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for me. And we have not really spoken since. Every once in a while, I'll hear from somebody, your sister sends you her love. And so this is, I forgive you. That was supposed to be a short version. We're still okay? Okay. Haunted by the times you made me cry, feeling not quite good enough, not understanding why. I blamed you for the hell that I was in. Then I burned through my resentment so I could love again. I forgive you, for you know not what you do. When you did those things that hurt so much, you didn't have a clue. Love needs no conditions, it will always see us through. I forgive you, for you know not what you do. I still have an angry thought or two. I don't do well with those that try to tell me what to do. But I still try to turn the other cheek. Watch me walk away, you'll know exactly what I mean. 'Cause I forgive them, for they know not what they do. When they do those things that hurt so much, they haven't got a clue. Love needs no conditions, it will always see us through. I forgive them, for they know not what they do. The more you give away, the more you have. Everyone's a mirror of some part of you. It could be anger, it could be love. Why not choose love? Haunted by the times I made you cry, bringing out the worst in me, not understanding why. But we can heal together, can't you see? I can be more loving, but there's one thing that I need. Please forgive me, for I know not what I do. When I do those things that hurt so much, I haven't got a clue. Love needs no conditions, it will always see us through. Please forgive me, for I know not what I do. Please forgive me, I forgive you. And so it is. And now a word from our sponsor. So are we all going to be gentle on ourselves as we move to the heal and do more forgiveness? Hallelujah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Armand and Angelina. What a marvelous, marvelous message. Thank you so much. This is the time when we welcome our guests, and we do have Sam and Brittany here. Is there anyone else that are here for the first time? Anyone? Oh, they've been here. Oh, they must have been here when I wasn't here. So, okay, very good. Well, it's nice to have you back. And now we have our time for gifts to give to Unity, our offering. And you'll notice the little baskets. I think most of you know where they are, or we have the tip tap machine back there. But we thank you for anything at all that you can give to support Unity. We appreciate your gifts. And let's have our giving and receiving affirmation. Today, I give freely without expectations, aware that as I give, I receive beyond measure from a benevolent universe. Today, I open to receive what is being offered, aware of my gratitude and the love which radiates from my heart back into the circle of life. I am both the giver and the receiver of a loving Creator. And so it is.
We're going to sing just a very simple chant from St. Francis. Love, make me an instrument of your peace. We'll do that just a couple of times here. We'll just make sure. Nope, that was me. I was thought it was your mic. Love, make me an instrument of your peace. Join us if you like. Love, make me an instrument of your peace. Once more. Love, make me an instrument of your peace. And that's how I see money and tithes and gifts, an instrument of God's peace.
So one final announcement before we end today, and that is that Armand and Angelina want everyone to have their music. So they do offer their CDs and book on a suggested exchange basis. Please take what you desire, give from your heart, and feel free to tithe in the future if you don't have it now. So the peace song or day by day, whichever you would like to do. As
Any gospel fans? Yeah. Okay, thank you, both of you. This is day by day. We're going to change the word Lord. Not that their Lord is a problem. Lord just means teacher. We're going to change the word Lord, though, because it's a bit loaded, and use the word God. So this is the song from Godspell. Please stand. We'll sing day by day.
And if you'd like to join hands, you're welcome to do that.
Yeah. Day by day, day by day. Oh, dear God, many things I pray to see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more nearly, day by day. Day by day. Oh, it's starting to rock now. Day by day. Oh, dear God, three things I pray. To see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more nearly, day by day. Disco. Day by day. Day by day. Oh, dear God, three things I pray, three things I pray. To see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more dearly, day by day. Day by day by, day by day by, day by day by, day by day by, day.
That one got me.
I'll go ahead and get it.
It's okay. I totally get it.
Happy